Hello, and welcome back to another super quick pep talk from me about why you should reward your efforts and not just your results. Now, this came about from an experience that I went through. And so I'm going to give you the backstory of where it came from so that it makes sense. Now, I used to have a membership. And I was in a program at the time that was teaching us how to grow our memberships and scale our memberships and retain our members. And so I was following the process to do a launch for my membership. And I was surrounded by lots of other entrepreneurs that were also doing a launch for their memberships. So we were setting goals about how many new members we would get in. And I set this goal of 200 new members. So I was going to do a launch and I ticked all of the boxes. I was doing everything that I could do. I really went all in on this launch and did it. So like I really showed up for it, and I was really proud of how I did that. I was interviewing my members for case studies. I was doing all of the stuff, and it was just like, right, I am going for this. I've got this big goal, 200 members. And then I'm in this group full of other entrepreneurs who have got much bigger audiences than me that do affiliate programs. And of course, they're setting these 200 new members and hitting it. So I was like, right, I'm in. I'm going to set it. It's a stretch goal. Let's go for it. Now, I showed up for that launch. I'm super proud of what I did. But at the end of it, I got 28 new members. Now, of course, I was like really disappointed. I'm like, 28. I wanted 200. But the reality is, I had set a goal that wasn't feasible for where I was at in my business. These people that were setting that kind of goal had a much bigger audience. They had a much bigger Facebook ad spend. They had partners affiliating for them. I didn't have any of that. And I was just doing this small scale launch with my gorgeous audience. And so it wasn't a realistic goal. Now I'm all about fine. I'm absolutely fine with setting stretch goals, and I'll talk about that on another episode. But on this instance, this was just oh my goodness, it wasn't a realistic goal for myself. Now, if I hadn't set that massive goal, like 28 people, 28 new members in one launch was actually a really, really good achievement for the size of my audience. And I should have been really, really proud. And that is when I realized I absolutely showed up for that launch. I am so proud like of everything I did. I had this kind of story for myself. Like, I don't ever want to get to whether it's the end of a week, end of a month, end of a launch, whatever the thing is, and say, oh, I wish I'd done more, or I wish I'd tried this, or I wish I'd done that. I was like, I'm not doing that. So I'm just going to show up and I'm going to go for it, which I did. And that is when I realized you get to reward your efforts because your efforts were 100% bang on. I showed up. I'm so proud of what I did, but the results weren't there because the goal wasn't really aligned to all the other moving parts in my business at the time. So that is when I learned that you got to reward your efforts and not just the results, because sometimes our results are not aligned with the efforts. So it doesn't mean that you put the effort in and you're going to get the result, but it also doesn't mean that the results won't come later from that effort. Now, it's really, really important because now I always get to make the deal with myself. It's like all that matters is my efforts. I want to be proud of how I showed up for whatever it is, even if it's just showing up for my to-do list this week. I want to be able to reward my efforts. So let's focus on your efforts because that's the one thing that you can control. Everything else is out of our control. So let's keep coming back to what can I control, and you can reward your efforts. It's super powerful and it's super simple. I hope it helps.